Hello, I'm Robert Agar-Hutton. This is Sam who's going to help me. We're going to do a shortish video on an aspect of Tai Chi self-defense called floating hands. I think it's probably best if I start off by explaining that floating hands is a broad series of exercises. They have the ability to be of use in training the body in movement that can be advantageous in a self-defense situation. It is not if somebody does A, you do B, and in 10 years' time, if somebody does A, you do B. It's not meant to be thought of like that. Instead, it's teaching the body ways of movement that over a period of time blend together so that if somebody does A, you might do B, or you might do C or D or E, or somebody might do X, Y, Z, and you choose to do A, because your body has certain shapes that are built into your nervous system that respond to certain stimuli. I hope that makes sense. Let's also explain that the exercises we're going to do today are completely new to Sam, so we will see how it goes. The first one we're going to do, Sam,
Okay.
if you stand just with your feet together, if you bring your hands up, so your right hand's on the right side and the left hand is kind of a little bit further across there in the elbow, and then you take your hands down.
Take them down.
Down, yes.
Still new.
This might be a longer video than I expected. So, we're now going to do it on the left hand side. The left hand goes up, the right hand goes in, a little bit further in.
Okay.
Right? If you imagine one possible use is if somebody is trying to punch you, you would move out the way and cover, or if somebody was trying to hook round to you, you would cover there, just as a way of thinking about this shape. So, put the shape there, put the shape on the other side. And to begin with, just do that a few times to get familiar with this shape, just to show it to the camera from the side, including the stomach, which came from too much food when some of us were in LA a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago nearly.
Does it matter which way the hand is pointing?
For now, just have the hand
Yeah.
up. So you're trying to cover the max. So if you just go sideways, if you put your hands up on the other side, right? If your hands are here, if I was trying to hit you, you're trying to have those there.
Yeah.
If I was hitting you straight and you step that way, step that way slightly, so not as big a step, right? And do it the other way. So that hand there, that hand there. If you punch me with that hand, it's that.
Okay.
Right, that's not the application, it's merely a potential use for that shape. Okay, so if we just go back to face the camera. Now, people that have done Tai Chi are often familiar with a move called part wild horse's mane, right? Yep. So, one of the things you can do is you can tie this move to part wild horse's mane. If your front hand turns over and draws down, and that hand slices up, you end up in part wild horse's mane. If we come to the other side, try and keep your feet a little bit wider apart. Now, this is somebody I follow on YouTube, actually, Eli Montague. Shout to Eli Montague. His father, his late father, was my very first Tai Chi teacher many years ago. And Eli recently posted a video and he was talking about the kind of sparring that they do. And he was talking about if somebody has a stance that's too wide, gently kneeing them in the genitalia to illustrate the fact that you shouldn't have this as your basic fighting stance. Neither should you have this because you're off balance. So you could probably be a little bit narrower. Yeah, that's great. That's a side thing. So we come here, then this hand, the front hand, turns over, draws down as you step forward and come into part the wild horse's mane. If we take a step back, it'll just be easier to see what our feet, my feet as well, are doing. So it's, sorry, do it the other side. Over, draw down, step forward. Yeah, and you can think of an application for this if you want, which would be if you face me, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
If you were punching me there, I could then draw down perhaps and hit you there. Oh, for any eagle-eyed viewers there, you'll notice my finger stuck out. There's no reason for doing that other than I did some Aikido a few years ago where we tended to have fingers sticking out for reasons that I have no idea of. So, it's just what they did. Right, so here we come over, down, out. It's all right, don't worry. Over.
Keep moving.
Front hand, don't worry. Down, out. Yeah, sometimes the body is going to move, and sometimes the body moving will be a good thing. Oh, look, a punch coming, I'll move here. Oh, look, a punch coming, I'll move there. Not as good the second one, yeah? Punch is coming that way. You generally don't want to move into it. So, here, down, there. Now, with this one, the hand is that way. If you're going to emulate part the wild horse's mane, a better use, perhaps, of the lead hand is you put up this shape. This hand can still do the same thing. It can pull down, but now as we step forward, just allow this hand to float out in front. And again, if I turn round for the camera, or if I drop the hand down, you'll see it's a curved shape. If we do it to the other side, so we start with our feet about hip width. Also, anytime, and this is easy to say and difficult to do, anytime you're in any kind of conflict situation, as much as possible, try not to have your legs like that, which is straight with the knees locked out. Try and sink down and let the knees bend. So look, it doesn't look like a huge difference. If you look at my waistline, the difference between that and that is not a lot. But where it is a lot is if I need to move quickly, the second time where my center of gravity is lower and my legs are more relaxed makes the movement easier and it makes me more stable. So anyway, getting back to this, we'll put the hands up to this side, this one turns over, this one floats forwards, and slightly more of a, drop the elbow slightly, keep this straight, that turn there. You'll see why when we look at an application. Right,
Okay.
Bring the foot back. Let's go to the other side. Step forward. Come back. Up. Pull down. Step forward. Up. Forward. Sorry, too quick for you. So
No,
up
no.
to the side.
Yeah.
Down with the lead hand, step forward. Obviously, because at least some of this video, this video will probably be longer than the bit I put on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell and like it and send your pet canary, whatever, do all the things that make YouTube so fun. But some of it will be on my training website, taichitraining.pro. I will put a link down below, and that's the site that people pay money, actually pay money to watch my videos, and there will be the longer video on that. So anyway, let's look at what we've just been doing just from the point of view of what you might use it for. So if we face each other, let's see, that's how to do it easy for the camera. If you punch me there, if I come here, so you notice I've already stepped because I didn't want to get hit. So I actually stepped. Now here, as this hand comes down, I'm going to step in again, and this is going to chop into Sam. Now, if I didn't do that extra little step, so if you punch here, I can hit him from there, just having done what I think was the first step. So, no, punch me on the nose. Sam was being a little bit nice there. So, there. So the one step is good enough. If it's not, if I was lucky enough to be, you'll need to step in when you punch me. Yes, okay, so, sorry, let's just go back a little bit for the camera. There we go. Right, so if you step in when you punch, here, if I need to step in, I will. Never be afraid to move. I did karate for over 30 years. And one of the problems in some karate training and some karate schools is that they have a tendency to do a technique and do it in quite a solid stance. Now there's logical reasons for being solid, which is if Sam is here, I'm just going to ask you to put your, hand out the way, just there. If I want to punch Sam, and I'm sort of there, so if I was going to punch him, when I hit here, I've still got all that extension available to me, then yes, if I hit Sam there, when my hand can go that way, that punch is going to drive deep into him. The problem is though, that there is a tendency for some people, not all, for some people to think, oh yes, this is how you should end up and you should kind of stay there. And it makes their karate, and it probably applies to some forms of kung fu and other martial arts, it makes their martial art a little bit stilted, a little bit slow. Ideally, you want to be able to hit somebody here and then there and then there and here and there and there and everywhere else without there being any gaps in your techniques. So whilst we are practicing here something that looks quite static, it is part of a sequence that is not. So if we go back to that, so if you punch me that side, that's basically the beginning of something. Now, YouTubers, I know you'll like to comment, and the obvious comment that people always give is, but nobody attacks like that, and nobody attacks and stops and lets you defend. Let us. There is a difference between training and reality, and people that don't acknowledge that difference are in for a surprise one day. Put it that way. But if you just think, if you can just throw 2 punches to my hand, 1, 2, and do it again. Okay, so if, don't hit my nose, but if you were to do that to my nose, bosh, bosh, at that sort of speed, and I did nothing on the first punch to interrupt that, I'm going to get hit on my nose twice, and it's going to hurt. But if you notice, you can do that one more time, although those punches are strong enough so that I'm not going to hit you, that if they were to hit on the nose, they would hurt, maybe break your nose. It's not actually done with the anger, the vehemence that a real fight would be. So, One of the things that's nice is, can you throw one punch? I'm just going to have to be tough. Can you throw one punch as if you meant it to my hand? Okay. And maybe step in as you do it to give it a bit more welly. Okay. Now, do you notice when Sam does that, his whole body is committed? He's not just stepping back and hitting, he's actually trying to hurt me. Now, if this goes wrong, this is going to be
get a few more
really
views.
funny. It'll get a lot more views. Old guy killed on YouTube or something. So we'll hope that we get this right. What I'm going to ask Sam to do, whenever you're ready, is hit me like that, as hard as that. Go for it.
Where?
On the nose with that big punch. Yeah. Now, and again, please.
Say what?
Yeah, say not. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't tell Sam that I was going to step to the inside there because I just wanted to make the reaction a little bit more realistic. But if we do it one more time. Now, here, immediately, because that was a committed attack, as long as my response is quick and fluid, I will not lose the timing. So, how to explain this? If you can imagine, the attack is 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. And you will see that sometimes if you watch street fights, you'll see people sort of bosh, 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 bosh. And there is an inbuilt rhythm to it. Can you slowly punch with one hand, then the other?
Yeah.
1, 2, and the other, and keep going. Now here, what's happening is Sam is punching with a rhythm. As long as I know what's going on and he doesn't change anything, we can do this all day. Where it goes wrong for me is if Sam changes that rhythm, and where it will go wrong for Sam is if I interrupt that rhythm. So if we assume that Sam intended, just stay there please Sam, Sam intended to come bash, bash. That was Sam's intent, to throw a right cross and a left cross. I nearly hit you there, I apologise. Try not to kill your partner. It's old fashioned, I know. 1, 2. Most people, when they do that, 1, 2, it will tend to, not everybody, but it will tend to have the same timing. So the speed at which this one comes out and the speed at that one will tend to have a 1, 2, not a, so let's see if I can do it, 1.5. 1, wait a little, 2. Generally, and again, there's always going to be exceptions, there'll be this 1, 2. So if you can do that, step in 1, 2, step in 1, 2. And one more time. Lovely, okay. This is the bit that's fun if we get it wrong. So, can you do exactly that to my nose, please, Sam? Now, what I did, which went horribly wrong, nearly horribly wrong for Sam, so I trod on his foot, what I did was, I didn't worry about the second beat. Do it slowly, please. 1, I did something as soon as I made contact, even though Sam was thinking about that second one, I was able just to use the fact that I'd made contact. I always forget the Tai Chi thing, but it is 4 words, and I can only ever remember 2 of them, which is stick and adhere, which I always get confused about because I think they mean the same thing anyway, stick and adhere. But basically the idea is a punch comes in and you make contact and you try and maintain, sorry, you can't see me, how lovely I am. You try, the minute you make contact, you try and keep contact because if Sam then brings that arm away from me, if I follow it in, I'm more likely to be able to control him rather than if he takes that arm away. Now if I do something, Sam can respond to that. So the minute you have contact with somebody, we're recording this in early December 2022. It will soon be Christmas. Generally speaking, the holiday season, if you want to be not Christmassy, if you're. Oh, I actually wrote something about this recently. Did you know there's like about 20 different holidays that happen between like now and the middle of January? There's all different religions, and people that aren't religious have holidays at this time of year because it's the change of year. And one of the things that happens for a lot of people at the change of year is they give gifts. And generally, if you're well mannered and well brought up, when somebody gives you a gift, even if it's that sort of sweater from Aunt Ethel that she hand knitted and it's horrible and you're never ever going to wear it, you do say thank you. In the same way, when Sam throws that punch, if I make contact with it, I think of it as a gift and I say thank you. And because it's a gift, this is now mine. And once it's mine, I can do bad, mean, horrible things to Sam, right? Whereas, if he throws that punch and I go, oh, it's a gift, but I don't want it, and I let you take your hand away, either I've got to give Sam a gift, or I have to wait for him to give me another gift. So, if we go back to just this shape, so throw a punch, that's the shape.
Yep.
Here, there. Now, obviously, from here, having made contact there, you might say, what can you do to train your body so that if ever you were in, sorry, one more time, please, Sam. If you were ever in this shape, your body would have practiced various other options. Every time you practice an option, think in terms of your brain. We were out in the car before, and we were going somewhere, and the GPS routed us somewhere that wasn't the way I would normally go. And I went, oh, why is it going that way? And Sam said, well, maybe it knows there's a block, and so we went the way the GPS said. By going the way the GPS said, rather than the way I would normally have gone to the place we were going to, I now know another way to get there. So in the same way, if you throw that strike, if I come here and there, I now want to have some extra GPS routes. So the first thing we're going to do, Sam, if we just face there, if we come here and here, now let's come here. Go back, do it on the other side. Let's go here and here and here. And come back to the other side here and here. So it's okay. The other side is the other side rather than. See, there's this thing called the same. No, sorry. Right. Here.
Yeah.
And then there.
Yeah.
And then there. And then one more on this side. Here. Put that hand up a bit higher. There we go. That's good. Grab with this one here, and then there. Now, if Sam faces me, if you hit with that hand, hold on a minute, right. Now, Sam is a nice person. If he turns around this way, you'll see his punch missed my face by about 6 inches, and whatever that is in centimetres, I'm old. So, this time, Sam is going to punch me in the nose. Yes, that's the one I want. And do that again, please. 1, 2. Now, here, notice I've drawn the hand down slightly and I've allowed my thumb to come underneath. I think I've spoken in another video, I don't always grab using the thumb. That can put your thumb at risk. Sometimes I will just grab using that sort of hand shape. In this case, I've happened to have put my thumb underneath. My hand is here. From here, I come down that way and up that way. If we do it to the other side, please, Sam, you can punch me on the nose with that hand. See, again, you're being a little bit nice there. Again,
You know why? Because I'm expecting you to smack it away.
There we go, that's the one. So, one more time, please. There, there, there,
Yeah.
Now here, again, I've grabbed it. If I had grabbed it that way, it's easy enough to bring the thumb around. In fact, even if I have my thumb on top, assuming that I've hit Sam here, I can pull down and push up here. Sorry, can we just come into camera? I can actually, see there's the thumb underneath, there's the thumb on top. I've still got a good enough grip there to manipulate this arm. Now, obviously, let us assume the punch comes in. I get hit on the face. I was really slow there. Yeah. One more time. Now here, this strike, I tend to strike with this part of the wrist to the throat, but it could be the hand, it could be the arm, it doesn't matter. This would generally have at the very least, a momentary stunning effect. Right, it might knock somebody unconscious, but it should stun them for a brief second, which would let you do that. Right, Sam, can you look at me, make this arm really strong?
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of movement there, it's difficult. If I put my thumb underneath, I've got a little bit of more movement there, it's still difficult. If, however, that strike has gone in, then that will become a little bit easier. And I'll let you in on the secret. Let's assume, just go back a half step if you don't mind. Let's assume, punch with that one. I managed to, and I flinched out the way, which I probably would, that's a sensible thing to do. I step in, I hit, and let's assume that this and this doesn't relax, because he's Superman. Captain America, I don't know who else to say.
Liver King.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking Mary Poppins, but there we go. So, anyway, it doesn't have any effect. Then you don't do that. You would do something else. And something else can include, obviously, running like, what's it? So, that's just a little application for that shape. Let's now, let's look at another shape. So if we face the jolly old camera, let us think. Yeah, just another shape. The hands coming up, and I may have done a video on this one before, but the whole point of floating hands techniques is there's such a large number of them. I neither worry, I don't worry about what I've taught and what I haven't taught. You just do stuff and you're building up this range of things. So we come up here, right? And let's keep it really simple. We'll just come straight forward there. Now, when you come up here, the hands are turned out slightly. Keep the hands turned out as you come forward there. Turn them.
So you're almost like pushing?
Keep it forward. It's there.
Okay.
Right. So the hands are comfortably that way. You're not trying to strain them round, but you don't want them. I'm not a huge fan of pushing or hitting people with the hands upright, because if you get it wrong, you're so for instance, if I hit somebody in the stomach there with my hand upright, it jars my wrist. If I hit you that way, it doesn't. If I was to hit you, say there, now it might well hurt you, but again, it can jar my wrist. If I was to hit you there, you couldn't see, but yeah, so here, let's just practice this shape a few times. Sorry, I'm just going to go back so you can see the footwork. It's just here, 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 here. Stepping forward as your hands come out, so there, back, up, out, there, out. Okay, so it's just another shape. Shapes have possibilities. Sam grabbed me. Sam grabs me, I kick him, I hit him, I bash him, I stick my fingers in it. I do 1,000 different things. none of which were related to that shape. Aha, you think. Sam grabbed me. Bam! Now that time I used that shape. The difference was what Sam did. Well, what I allowed Sam to do. Sam grabbed me. He has grabbed me. Grabbed me. Now, this jumper is an old jumper, a trusted friend, but it's hugely cold in the studio today. We've had the heater on for about 4 hours and it's still cold. If you hold me tight, if you hold me tight, I can do this kind of thing most of the day until Sam just gets bored, right? So the point is, this particular shape is not designed to be optimal for when somebody has grabbed you. But if you could grab me, if my timing, if I'm lucky enough that I perceive that grab is going to happen, or I notice it happening, then if you could grab again as a way of intercepting a grab, it's actually quite good. So this time, Sam, now if this goes wrong, you'll hear me scream in a really high-pitched voice because Sam will be pinching my skin really tight. So what I want you to do is I want you to come in really fast and grab as hard as you can. And the first time I'm going to let you.
Grab your jumper, yeah?
Hopefully just the jumper, but really go for it. Go. Yeah, and it's like, you probably heard a little bit of a slap as he slapped me, but luckily, thanks, you can leave go. Luckily, what I feared, which was that he was going to pull out bits of skin, didn't happen. Now, can you do that a little bit faster, a little bit harder? Chicken. Okay, whenever you're ready. I'm trying to do the technique that I want to show you, but I'm trying not to have it as a preconceived idea, although obviously it is. So I'm trying not to have a hair trigger, I'm trying to react whenever you're ready. There we go. I was a tad late, but I was quick enough that he hadn't sunk the hooks in. One more time, if you don't mind saying. Bang! Now, this into the bones here. Depends how strong how strong I am, how weak Sam is as to how much damage that would do. It could be just bruising, or it could be a more serious problem. As I think, as we've said before, anytime you hit somebody, you don't know what their physiology, biology, medical history, blah, 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 blah is. So there's always the possibility you go bang, and his heart stops, or you go bang, and an aneurysm, a weak blood vessel in the brain bursts, and you kill somebody. Which is why there was an excellent video which I saw recently. Sorry, if I can re-find it, I'll post a link on YouTube. And it was 4 people that had killed giving interviews. Now, one of them was a professional criminal, and apart from one instance in his past, which he said he regretted, he didn't seem to be too bothered by the things he had done. The other 3 people, there was one gentleman who'd killed somebody when he was young, but thought, put into the same situation, he might do it again. Okay. The 2 that were interesting to me was somebody that had hit somebody with a single punch, they'd fallen down and died, and he had a huge amount of remorse. And the one that was perhaps even more interesting, because I have a number of ex-military friends, was somebody who had been in the military, had been a sniper, and had suffered huge PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yeah, I had got it right. Mm-hmm. Killing somebody is generally not a good thing. Killing somebody will generally screw you up even if the legal side of things doesn't screw you up, and I think 3 out of the 4 people in that video had been in prison. So if Sam goes to grab me because he's a bit angry and he just wants to give me a telling off, give me a telling off.
You jack the lad.
Right, and then you leave go because you're happy because you've told me off, and you storm off in a huff. And situations like that occur. If you go to do that, and I do this, and you fall backwards and you hit your head on the concrete and die, it will almost certainly be up for a court of law to determine if what I did was legal. Now, I'm 69. Sam soon
Careful.
will be a fraction of that age. Sam soon is coming up for his 33rd birthday, I happen to know. I know all sorts of things.
On the subject of gifts, you're more than welcome.
Thank you. Here you are. Have this. So, if I attack Sam because I'm angry because he stole my car's parking space, and I went to kind of grab him, and he did that to me and I fell down and died. Unfortunately, the way people's minds work and the way the legal system worked, it would be more difficult for Sam to prove that he was in genuine fear for his life and he genuinely needed to protect himself than it might be if he was the one who grabbed and I did something because I said, well, Your Honour, he's younger, fitter, taller, strong. He was younger, fitter, taller, stronger than me, and I thought he was going to kill me. In that scenario, I might, in a court of law, have a slight advantage, but I might still do jail time. You being the younger person. So, long way of saying, try not to get into fights in the first place. Right, one more look at this. So the grab comes in. Now, oh, that was interesting. We'll look at that in a minute. And then there. Right, what I nearly did, if you can grab, I nearly did this. So you grab, right? So if I had done that, as part of my practice as well, and I'll get you to do this in a minute, as part of my practice, I ought to practice something that allows my body to have a reaction that's built in to this scenario, because this isn't help, this is just whoops, I just took my hands out too quickly. So, what we will do, let's just look at something, and again I apologise if I've shown this before, it's really easy. You come all the way over and just clear the hands and step in. Now, I'm not saying it will work all the time. If you remember, I keep saying this, nothing works all the time. But that will tend to move most people. If Sam was so strong that my hands are here and it didn't, I've got that, I've got that, I've maybe got that, I've got this, I've got this, yeah, I've got this. So I need to have movement patterns. So Sam, I will come in and grab you. Let's take it. Shall we take the glasses off? Just. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? He was here a minute ago. So I will come in and grab you. You're going to come up on the inside and then do that one.
Okay. So that.
Yeah.
And then where from?
From there, just straight forward into there.
Okay.
Ouch. So grab in, bash. And again. Okay. Now, take your hands out. Take your hands out, as it were. Go. Do it before I do.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So
like
you,
this.
yeah, without the step. So you do that.
Okay. Yeah.
I've come in and grabbed you, right? So try this simple, which I think is a simple one, of taking this elbow all the way round to there, dropping it down. Try not to bend as much as you have. Try and keep your hand up, but the elbow down.
Like
Hand
this?
up.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Now, turn your body back the other way.
Towards you.
Yeah, that way round. Let me just do it to you. So you grab me. Right, this hand comes round there.
Okay.
Give that we go.
But I'm here,
Yeah,
come in,
yeah.
and then I move you.
Yeah. And then your other hand could hit me. Okay, I now feel confident to put the glasses back on. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to, well, at this point in a number of seconds' time, I'm going to slice the video, and the video that we've done so far will go on YouTube. And the bit that we're going to do, which actually will probably only be 5 or 10 minutes more, because the idea was that we would do regular short videos. The original idea was regular, like 15, 20-minute videos, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to do a kettlebell session. But that's just for us, because that's just us doing stuff with kettlebells. Neither of us are qualified kettlebellers. I'm a kettlebeller.
I think there's a non-PC term there that we're not going to say.
I don't know. I quite like the idea. Hi, what do you do for it? I'm a kettlebeller. I don't know. Yes. Yeah, we won't go any further. But anyway, so we're not qualified in that, so that we're just doing for our own fun. That will be off camera. So if you have been watching this on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it. Sign up, press the buttony thing, the bell thing, the likey thing. Please leave comments. If your comment is one that I am capable of answering, I will always do my very best to answer it. If you think that anything I did was incorrect within the paradigm that I've set, then please tell me. And I will always try and answer. I always try and answer politely, even when occasionally you get trolls on YouTube where you feel that you don't really want to answer politely. But I'll always try to answer politely. I'll always try and learn. It is important to realise that all we are trying to do in these exercises is figure out ways that the body, and with floating hands techniques in particular, the arms can move so that they are used to moving in all the possible planes of motion. Lovely. Okay, so that's it for you YouTube guys. Bye.